Kamaru Usman versus Canelo Alvarez. It's a discussion that only started about 3 weeks ago, but it's not going away. And it's got to the point where Ali, the great manager of Kamaru Usman, said Kamaru is going to defend his welterweight championship in the summer, but then he's going to go and fight Canelo with the blessing of Dana White. Eddie Hearn got asked about this. Eddie Hearn said, I'll do the fight. The best MMA fighter in the world versus the best boxer, I'll do the fight. Dana White got asked about it, said, I hate the fight. Said nothing about that makes any sense. Kamaru Usman is not a boxer. Canelo Alvarez is the best boxer of his generation. I hate everything about it. But this is still where we're at. Now, guys, you can't blame anybody for wanting to go and test their skills. Like there's something cool. Kamaru Usman does not become a national wrestling champion and a world MMA champion unless he had this kind of a mindset where he constantly wants to challenge himself. He wants to put himself in bad situations and find a way to overcome. That is inside of Kamaru Usman. We know that for sure. And we don't want to take that away because look at how well it served him. National honors to world honors, right? Okay. At the same time, why is that in there? Why would you want to become really good at something and use that as a way to go and do something else that you're not as good at? And by the way, we don't know if you're good at all. I would assume Kamaru Usman, since he could wrestle and then he could go fight, that he could take that same thing and move it down to the hands only. I would assume he would do really well. What's an assumption worth? Against the greatest guy in the world, that's who we're going to test him with? And what are we doing that for? So that Kamaru can go out there and compete and lose, but it's okay because this isn't what he did. Oh, and by the way, he's got a whole jackpot full of money. Well, what if he wins? What do we do then? He never comes back to MMA. He goes, does a rematch with Canelo, something along these lines. I'm just saying, why would we do that? I don't know. And I got some of that inside of me too, just not to the extent of Kamaru, which is why I didn't have a world championship. It's something very special in him. I could only look at myself. If I was in that situation, I would take much more of a Hulk Hogan approach. So many fighters want to work hard and sacrifice and have this wonderful skill and then go put it somewhere else that isn't where it lies. I mean, guys, don't forget, you're a brand, you're a business. I hear fighters talk like this. It actually drives me crazy when they do because they take it in areas that it doesn't go. But if you want to look at just a fundamental, what does a business do? A successful business will produce something and then go sell it at the marketplace. They will then find a way to duplicate that over and over again. They'll make as many of these things and they'll take it to the marketplace as many times as they can to up the return on their investment. That's a successful business. So now you have a successful business that is known as the MMA fighter, in this case, Kamaru Usman, who would like to take what it is he grew, but then take it somewhere else and do something different completely. That doesn't make any level of sense. Now, a reason a moment ago I told you I would go the Hulk Hogan route. One thing that Hulk Hogan did, Hulk Hogan is the greatest wrestler ever. And many people have said Hulk Hogan doesn't know the difference between a wristwatch and a wrist lock. But he made more money. Whoever makes the most money is the best. That's how you look at Hulk Hogan. However, while Hulk made a ton of money through actual putting leg drops in a boot to somebody's face and tearing the shirt off, he used that and parlayed that over into success in TV. If I was Kamaru Usman, if I was handsome like Kamaru Usman, if everybody liked me the way they like Kamaru Usman, if I could beat everybody in my field the way Kamaru Usman has, Dana White calls it he's lapping people, going around a second time, cleaning out the field a second time over, and I worked for WME, my phone call would not be to Eddie Hearn. My phone call would be to Ari Emanuel. Hey, you want to go play a boxer? Great. Ari, get me a script and let me go play a boxer. Why do I want to really do it? Billy Crystal did this, guys. Billy Crystal wanted to be a baseball player. Billy Crystal doesn't have the athleticism of my pinky, but he went and got a script and played a New York Yankee. He got to have that same moment, hear the same roar of the crowd. They wouldn't have cared if he hit the bat. They didn't actually care about him. They don't care if they're paid as extras and they get $75 for the day. They're still going to throw up the same fake applause, and they're going to give an egomaniac elitist his little dream moment. What'd Billy Crystal do wrong? Sounds to me like Billy Crystal figured it out. Same thing that Hulk Hogan did, same thing that Chael P would do if I was in Kamaru's shoes. Am I going to go over here and box this guy? I don't know anything about boxing. What am I going to go beat him for? In one element, you think my ego's on the line? Think anybody in the world thinks that Canelo Alvarez can handle himself with Kamaru Usman if they throw them both into an alley and one's going to walk out? Of course not. Last thing that Canelo Alvarez's mother would say to him as she kissed him on the cheek with a tear rolling down her eye is, goodbye, son. There's no ego involved there. And also I see these people that work within the UFC, and sometimes I feel as though they forget what opportunities can be created. I feel they're looking for the wrong opportunities. Play the boxer is a lot more fun than being the boxer. Ronda Rousey even said this. Ronda Rousey even said the path that she went on and the heartache that she went through was worth it if it landed her in the WWE. Those are fake applause. Those are fake cheers. Those people don't know her. They don't actually care. The way that match is going to go was determined in the back. It's not real, but it sure made her feel good. It made her feel good to the point that she said, I'll put on my tights and travel all over the country just to hear an applause from somebody, even if they don't actually care about me. It makes them feel good. I've had that same experience in my brief foray into professional wrestling. It's very fun. I talked to Paige Van Zandt and Austin Vanderford because they're participating in AEW. Austin's never lost a fight. He's a main eventer with a world title fight coming up. He told me he's never had more fun than what they were doing over there, just having a good time. And I do feel if somebody is this close to the greatest decision maker in Hollywood, that they would use some of that to get over there, not to go into a different sport. I mean, where does that end? Now you're joining the bobsled team, you're trying out for putting a cricket crew together. I mean, where does that end? If it's just famous people doing famous stuff, okay, that recipe does work. I just get a little bit confused why it's always us going to them. I don't get it. I don't love it. I do think that with what Logan Paul showed us against Floyd Mayweather, size does matter. I do think Kamaru Usman going to come to that fight about 175 pounds. Canelo closer to 160 pounds. Kamaru can go with him. Kamaru could go with him. He could. Kamaru could give him some problems. Why? Why are we doing that? You got a business. You take that to the marketplace and then you duplicate that as many times as you can. That's how you make money in business. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. That's my thought.